Hey y'all, today we are heading to a glass bottom boat tour in Munising, Michigan. And we are here at the Painted Rocks area, and we're looking forward to this. We should see a shipwreck and a bunch of the beautiful arched rocks and everything. Saw a little bit of white caps on the water, so hopefully we won't be providing chum for the fishes. All right, so Chris bought our tickets online. He checked in upstairs. Now you can, if you have accessibility issues, you can come down this little driveway here and be dropped off, picked up. We are now kind of just waiting in line. Surprised to see so many people here on a Thursday before all schools are let out. There aren't a whole lot of kids here, mainly adults. So I guess this is a boat we'll be going on, the Shipwreck Express. And it's quite cloudy right now, but these some of this fog is starting to lift a little bit. We'll see. It was quite lovely this morning from the hotel with all the fog kind of resting on the hills over here. The water is amazingly clear, so I think we'll all enjoy the glass bottom boat tour here. So when you board the boat, you'll notice there are these little stanchions here, or stations, and then this is the glass bottom. Now this is a pontoon boat, so the glass isn't exactly in the water, but the lake is so clear you can see through there. On this cruise, you're allowed to make yourself at home, and there is an upper area as well, as you saw, and you can walk around the boat as much as you want when it's moving. Some barking from dock. Smells like marine diesel fuel, and the engine's a bit loud. Or engines. I'm gonna probably guess this has two. So far, the ride is pretty smooth. They've shut the side doors, and that's helping with the temperature quite a bit.
The other three crew members stayed on board the ship to pump water out of the cargo holds. It is assumed that these three men must have fallen asleep. The ship quietly filled up with water. When it became so heavy, it ripped away from the shoreline, taking the trees it was tied to right by the roots. It did go down in about 70 feet of water. The men did go down with their ship. They're not down there today. They were recovered a few days after the accident and buried on a small historical cemetery over here on Grand Island. 14 years later, a Canadian salvage company wanted the cargo on the ship. They didn't want to do their operations in Munising Bay, too much shipping and logging carrier. Her bow and her stern are only going to come within about 6 feet of the viewing wall glass, where midship is going to be about 10 feet. So it's about that time now if everybody'd like to start making their way around the viewing areas. Just make sure you slide all the way to the center, 2 rows in between each viewing area. I'm going to get us positioned on the stern, and I'll turn the mic over to Macy so she can tell you what you're looking at.
Alrighty folks, as everybody's settling into their spots, we do have a few things that we want you to know. If you have a camera, make sure that flash is off, because if the flash is on, you're going to get a selfie instead of a shipwreck. And if you have any questions at any point, don't be afraid to just shout them out. If we don't know the answer, don't worry folks, we'll Google it for you. Viewing wells are looking at the aft cargo hatch. This is the second largest cargo hatch on the Bermuda. When the ship went down, she was carrying 488 tons of high-grade iron ore. Well, the ship itself was only rated for about 400 tons. The captain was going on his last trip of the season and it overloaded the ship by 88 tons in favor of a higher payday. That didn't quite work out for him, now did it? As As we're approaching midship, you're going to see some broken up decking along with something that kind of looks like a telephone pole. That's the log boom that the Canadian Salvage Company had used to help break apart the decking and to get light down to their divers. And when I say divers, I don't mean scuba divers. I mean the divers with the big brass helmets, large canvas suits, and an air hose snaking up to the surface, where hopefully your best buddy was pumping you some fresh air. You're going to see that long rectangular opening that runs directly down the middle of the upper deck. This is called the centerboard hatch. Now, if you don't know what a centerboard is, a centerboard is used to help give a ship stability while in deep water. We're making our way back over the ship's stern railing. Now, following that stern railing is the rudder post, and the rudder of the Bermuda is still intact today. It's just below the curve of the shipwreck where we can't quite see it from the surface. Attached to that rudder post is a chain and the railing right off the shipwreck. They were nice enough to put it back though. We're looking at a barrel going through our back viewing wells. It sits between the cabin trunk area and aft cargo hatch. Now that barrel's actually not with the original shipwreck. Some divers have found it nearby and placed it on.
We'll get right next to it because we're going to stop it right there at that corner.
Direction. It looks like they've already done the red one today. They're doing the green one right now, and then at our next shipwreck site, there is another red one marking a underwater rock reef, and they will do that one too. So we might get a nice close-up view of them when they get out there. But we're going to go by the East Channel Lighthouse first. I always like to point out the cabins nearby the shore here. There's only about 40 acres of privately owned cabin area left on the island. Nobody on this side has any running water or electricity. They have to bring it over from the mainland. There used to be a beautiful white sandy beach in front of these cabins and the lake until one winter it all eroded away. They built this cedar post break wall to stop any further erosion from happening. We came out the next spring and the little white cabin on the end here didn't have any luck. It was hanging 10 feet over the water. So we pulled the bow of the Miss Munising right up to his front door. We wanted to read the sign that Art had posted. He had a good sense of humor. The sign read, "Please keep off the lawn." They didn't wench it back and he's been good since. What used to be his lawn is now a 70-foot drop-off. The Grand Island East Channel Lighthouse is one of the oldest lighthouses built on the Great Lakes. They began building most of these structures after the Sioux locks opened for shipping traffic in 1855. This particular one was built during the summer of 1867. The longest running keeper of it was George Pryor. He lived out here with his wife. They raised a few of their kids out here. He received a whopping $400 a year. Oh, and benefits, I almost forgot to tell you. He got 4 cords of firewood chopped and delivered to his front door for free once a year by the government. And wow, we could all use a cow nowadays. The top is made out of copper. Above up there is a ventilation wall to let the heat escape. Long skinny wire on top of that is a grounding rod just in case lightning were to strike this building. That's going to go out by our next underwater site. So it's pretty cool to see it. We're going to be able to maybe see it out of water and in the water. I had a guy on board last trip. He helped build that boat. I know, isn't that crazy? It was pretty awesome. He works over in Marinette Marine.
So the Coast Guard here changes out the buoys. They have both winter and summer buoys. The winter buoys aren't as visible because of the ice, and I guess they're made to withstand that extreme cold. And then the red buoys are a little bit taller and more visible. The woman working on this tour, she said that she's only seen the lake freeze over twice. I believe she's lived here over a decade. Maybe, I guess two. She said 2014 was one of those years. It was pretty rough.
Shipwrecks. In Lake Spear alone, we have almost half of about 2,500. Kind of give you a nice photo opportunity. If you'd like your photo taken, don't be afraid to ask any of my crew members. They will take your photo for you so that you don't have to take a selfie instead. You might be wondering about the boat that you're on today. This is the newest boat to our fleet. Her name is the Shipwreck Express. She was built in our parking lot. So her hulls were built down in Saugatuck, Michigan. They were hauled up here on 8 different semi-truckloads. They put them in the lower parking lot area, and then they built a giant barn around them, and 5 guys, lots of space heaters, 1 Munising winter, which is like 6 months long. This entire thing was built. We head out here, we're going to want to hold on to the boat because we're going to get into some more wave action.
Mini chuckle for that one. You're going to start to see some openings on the wood of the wreck. Anything circular is a porthole, anything oval is a hawse eye, and anything that has a rectangular shape to it, that's called a scupper. And now we're making our way over the Hetler's anchor and our back viewing wells. That anchor is 8 feet tall, 5 feet wide, and weighs 2,500 pounds. Now, funny story about that anchor, it didn't always sit on this lake bed, even after the Hetler had sank. Before the Alger Underwater Preserve was established, a man from McDonough, Michigan had picked it up off the lake bed, given it a fresh coat of blue paint, and put it in his yard for 30 years as a lawn ornament. Well, then he decided to retire to Florida, and of course FedEx isn't going to ship a 2,500-pound anchor. So him and Captain Pete from Shipwreck Tours put it back on the lake bed right where it was before he had taken it. Now we're going to head out and show you folks the rock reef that the Hetler hit. Close-up picture of that U.S. Coast Guard boat. They are literally off of our bow right now. Picture this. You're the captain of the Herman H. Hetler. Your first mate's driving your boat during a blind...
You're staying right here. I'll take your picture. With this part. Stop. All right, go upstairs then.
Hi, we just finished our tour. It was fabulous. I highly recommend the glass bottom boat. It's supposed to be the largest in the world. And here comes the crew that is amazing. We loved you. You did great. So, and give them a tip, will you? Thanks, y'all. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.